into the silence.
All right, we are live.
We are?
We are
We are.
live and
We've
breathing.
been,
Oh,
well, yeah. We should probably do a Patreon for the first half hour before the show when the really juicy stuff comes out.
I don't know, man.
People have no
idea.
People have no idea the conversations. Every trigger word was said before the show started and argued over.
It would have to be a special Discord section that you would have to get through Patreon because we couldn't put it on YouTube or Twitch or anything else.
Yeah.
You have to charge some serious access for them to hear me and Bloodaxe try to fix the entire world from very different viewpoints, and then we start agreeing and things get real bad. It gets much worse when we get on the same page. Then anything might be said.
Yeah, because it was about 9 years ago. Q and I had a very uncomfortable conversation, and the fact that we stayed friends afterwards, is kind of a miracle.
I'm still angry, though, you son of a gun. That time has proven you more right than me. I'm so angry because I was way over here, and I'm like, dude, blah, no, blah. And now as I'm watching it all unfold, I'm like, I still don't like him. That's all I got. But I don't have like a leg to stand on darn near. It's really painful. I don't like being. I'm willing to accept it. I've acknowledged it repeatedly, haven't I? I've acknowledged what I was wrong about, but it hurt. It hurt to just go, why is everyone trying to prove Bloodaxe right? Bloodaxe is always wrong. I'm always right. Then I'm like, no, if I want to be right, I got to stop agreeing with some things. It's wild. So anyway, that's that, but much worse if we do the Patreon. You'll get to have fun. And then watch Xeno just try to play like in the middle, like, hey, guys, it's a bit of that, yeah. These two how are they friends?
Well, actually, what's funny is I was trying to defend a position I wouldn't defend, and you were going the other direction, which was kind of, a swapping of stances, so to speak. But
it is weird when you somehow flip complete sides on something. I'm like, but you're being reasonable, and I'm like, I don't want to be reasonable on this. I'm actually pissed about insert problem.
A peek behind the curtain for all of our normal viewers, but we're all pretty good friends, and we have diverse viewpoints when it comes to certain things. But it's funny how when other people move the goalposts, how much closer we get together with the way we view the world.
You're making me change my topics around in order here. Now I'm just like, since you're giving us a perfect lead in to one, I will.
Let's do it.
The goalposts. Yeah. I know where you're going. Yeah. The goalposts get moved on a lot of people, man.
Let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And
we also have Bloodaxe.
All right. Let's get started. Yeah, man, these goalposts. We woo, they're hitting some people in the face pretty hard these days. Keira Knightley apparently facing backlash over J.K. Rowling boycott apology video. I don't know if it's really an apology video. It's more of, so apparently Keira Knightley was doing an interview, and the interviewer asked her about her knowledge of the boycott for J.K. Rowling. Knightley pretty much said, no, I don't really, I'm not aware. I'm sorry. And then once it's explained to her, she takes the standpoint of surprisingly reasonability. She's like, I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
Good luck with that.
Well, I'm reading some of the backlash responses, and it was a lot of her fans, but here's the problem. They didn't want her to be reasonable. It says here they wanted her to take the stance like the people that were in the movie did and all that. And it's like, nobody has to agree with you, you losers. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about you. Nobody does agree with you. Like, why can't she have her own opinion? She didn't even say anything bad. She just said, I don't even know what the problem is because I'm not aware of it, but maybe we should all try to respect each other. Well, guess what? That can be interpreted as respecting the group of people you feel that J.K. Rowling doesn't respect. But she didn't go hard enough. And this pisses me off because you can't have a reasonable thought anymore where you could go, I think we ought to try to work it out. They don't want to work it out. And Keira Knightley don't know you, loser. She don't know you. I was disappointed in her. Why would she care if you're disappointed? She don't know you. You some random heifer that buys her movies. Why would anybody care? Why do people think they're important to these people? I don't think I'm important to Idris Elba. I don't think he cares what I think. He probably cares if I buy his movie. Maybe, probably not. I'm just one fan. I don't think Jackie Chan is worried that whatever I feel about him. It's like it's stupid to expect other people to have to agree with you, A, and B, to care how you think. Because why would they? Like, if I was rich, I know I wouldn't care about a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be like, huh? What'd she say? That's messed up. Anyway, I'm playing Snape. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing Voldemort in the movie. You ain't got to. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, I see why y'all mad. Anyway, come check me out as he who shall not be. Like, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yeah, I got you. Come check me out as he who would not be named in this. What you want? I mean, I'm a guy. I'm not even in this race. I'm not in the conflict. Like, why do they have such a crazy expectation of role models from a actor? They're not a role model. They're not your mama. They're not your friend.
Yeah, dude.
And honestly,
I mean, that's the thing
number.
that gets me on this. It's just like, but it's also just such a reasonable response. Let's try to get along. Have respect for one another. I mean, it is the most like safe response you could ever think, or you would think that'd be the most safe response you could possibly do that nobody could disagree with. Hey, we got to get along. Hey, we got to respect each other. That's not pointing to either side. It's just like, yeah, all of us have to respect each other. How is that? How can you get mad at that? Like, if you get mad at that, you got to look at yourself and go, who's the who's the rational one?
Dude, there's a way we say it out in the street, man. Some people just want the grief. They want the beef. They don't care. They don't need a reason. They don't need any valid reason. So sadly, that's the mentality of these fans she had. Which I don't believe they're fans. I think it's all lies. Because from what I know of Keira Knightley, she's a very normal woman, a normal actress. From what I've seen, she ain't really all over the place. So I doubt her real fans expected her to flip out. See, that's how you could tell a lie. You can tell a lie, somebody like, I'm a fan, no, you're not a fan.
Yeah, well,
you know why? Because you didn't know
too
that
much.
she didn't know.
I will say, like I said, it doesn't make sense. Blood, you got anything to say on this before we move on to something that, our chat room can actually maybe say something about?
Well, nothing that won't get me in trouble. A little bit.
Well, not safely.
Yeah. And nothing that won't get me in trouble, no. I mean, I miss the days remember when actually I'm older than you guys, you may not remember, when we would rent a VHS and it would have, or a Blu-ray, a DVD, whatever, it had, the comments made by our talent does not necessarily reflect our business or whatever. What happened to the days of just being able to go, okay, we're going to separate the talent from politics, but what they say is their own opinion. But now it's, if you don't have a certain opinion, then we're going to destroy your career. I miss those days. I really do. But I also miss the days where people like, dude, I'm an actor. What was it? Henry Cavill was it wasn't Henry Cavill. It was the guy who played Lois and Clark. Talking about, yeah, and he goes, yeah, I pretended to be Superman. I never was Superman. I mean, it's a job.
Yeah.
Let people do their jobs and go home. Quit trying to force them into a certain stance or a corner, and then you hold them over a barrel because of it. That's just.
Or how about this? If you really are a fan, then respect their opinions. Because if you're really a fan, then why don't you give them some leeway to have their own opinions? But you've turned them, you want them to be what you want them to be.
Well, I mean, once again, that's pretty much what she said. Let's respect each other. Yeah. But
I know we got a lot of content, so let's keep rolling.
Yeah,
we got a lot to get into.
Something our UK
no rolling. You're in trouble for rolling.
Okay. Something our UK friend can probably contribute on is. PS6 and next-gen Xbox console are both aiming for 2027 releases. I really feel like this current gen of console, man, was just a dud. Like, I feel like I spent money on my Xbox and got no value out of it.
The only value that I can say that I got out of it was the fact that my games loaded faster. Not that they had anything that I had to have an Xbox Series to be able to play.
Yeah.
And nothing that I thought made it superior other than just the overall performance and speed. Well, but with them increasing the pricing of everything now, and so I've got about 2 years before I probably need to get a gaming PC. The only thing they've done is set a deadline for me to get a gaming PC. That's all they've done. So
to me, it feels like this extra power that we got from this generation only allowed devs to be lazier in their programming. It really didn't advance us anywhere, games that don't really look much better than, years before, that we have to have higher specs to run, just seems like, well, you didn't optimize your game because you figured you had higher specs to run them on, lack of optimization and lack of clean development seems to be the only thing we got out of more power in our systems this generation. We had things that didn't look as good as previous gen, but had lower FPS, and performance. It was just I don't know, man. It was just development seems to just gotten lazier and lazier as we get more and more powerful systems and not really better.
And that's my kick, man. You know what I said before, and I can get it out again now, is that I think we're hitting an event horizon with consoles, because I don't know how the next console is not going to be $1,000. I mean, they jacked the price up at least a minimum of $100, nearly $200 a pop. They raised the price of Xbox without even doing anything to it. At least the friggin' PS Pro technically had something. Xbox just raised the price. They just raised the price. That was it. They didn't even bother with Xbox Pro. They just said, no, we just raising the price and we ain't going to give you a damn thing for it. But we're reaching that point to where a console's not cheaper enough than a PC, that it's about to get priced out. It really is. I think because $1,000, I think it's going to be too much. I believe the next gen of consoles, or even Sony's fanboys, are not going to crank out at the same quantity that they did before for the next gen. I think the next gen's consoles is going to be, the gaming industry is going to start to fall apart for consoles.
Well, sadly, even my PC, I get higher specs on it, but I'm not getting as much of a return, because once again, it just feels like developers are just doing sloppier code or stupid things. Like, one of the excuses I think a developer had for PC performance of a game was, we don't know if they're using a solid state hard drive or a spindle drive. At least on console, we know they're all using solid state. And I'm like, computers report they have these things called specs and APIs and data that can literally tell you everything. Like, you wouldn't be able to run at all on the system if you weren't making calls to figure out what the system is utilizing. So you're telling me you can't go and make a call and go, oh, they're using a solid state. We're not going to use this stupid storage method that we're going to have to use to make a spindle drive. Or we already have games that require solid state drives on PC. Several games that said in the requirements, you need a solid state. You know, if you run this on a spindle, it's going to be jagged because of the read and write speeds.
Zeno, I know you disagree with this, but I don't think you can dang near find a non-solid state PC that anybody's gaming on.
No.
Like, my parents are running a solid state. Now, it's because I got them their PC, but they didn't spend anywhere near a lot, and they've got a solid state. When I went looking for laptops for my son, solid state. Like,
well, it's stupid to have a spindle in a laptop just out of pure form factor.
But by general thing I'm saying is that they're acting like spindle states are on Steam. That a bunch of spindle state PCs are on. If they are, they're playing retro games. Yeah. They weren't going to buy a game anyway.
Well,
so it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out to half-ass.
If you bought a computer in the last 5 years, it does not have it's not going to be using a spindle drive. More than likely. I mean, if you bought a gaming PC in the last 10 years, it's not going to have a spindle drive.
Yeah, I just typed in PCs for sale, and like, I'm not finding a non-solid state. And I mean, under $1,000, I'm not finding a non-solid state even. So you're going to have, this is $879, still has an SSD. You know, so you're not going to, that's a cop-out. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I got all the way down to $779 SSD.
No, and that's what I'm saying is, you know, as with consoles and PCs, it just seems like we're doing sloppy development, and then we're telling people that they need higher requirements because we don't want to do our jobs, you know. And that's how I feel about the next gen of console. Do we really need it, or do we just need to start programming like we should?
I got down to $399 with a solid state drive. If you don't have a solid state drive, you have an old computer. $399.
Well, that's the thing, dude. If you look into spindle drives now, the prices of spindle drives have actually started going up because they're niche. The people who use
they're retro.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just the people who use spindle drives are running servers for data storage. You know, they're getting those 18 and 24 terabyte spindle drives for hot swapping, you know, storage capacity. They're not getting spindle drives to run your basic computer.
1 terabyte with SSD. Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, they're full of crap. $449. No, I just want to point this out. I'm not being silly. You do know that I've gotten down to less than the console prices, and it has an SSD. Who is this mystical spindle Steam player that is running Call of Duty on a spindle? Well, no, you're right. It's a cop-out. Because I'm finding PCs cheaper than an Xbox and a PlayStation Pro that have an SSD. Everybody's got an SSD that should be playing online. I'm not trying to be an elitist, but I'm not being an elitist, because if you're a gamer and you have a console, you spent more. I don't know how you get a spindle. Like you said, I don't even know how you get a computer with a spindle. I don't know what you spent. You spent $200, I guess. I don't know how low you had to go to do that. You're gonna get an SSD in anything that's $400 and up, from what I can see.
Got a gaming PC from Goodwill?
It's not a gaming PC. That's the problem. Like you said, it ain't for gaming. So they're talking like they're gonna put out a game for people that aren't gaming. At least not with that PC. They got more than one system in the house. But he is right that I think the tech's dumbing down. I mean, I haven't seen a really good looking game in a while. We get one or two games that look like they're pressing the tech and the level of what we can do. We get one or two of those a year at best. Sometimes we go a whole year and nothing looks particularly good. Like good. I mean, like it's pushing the package. This is the best looking game of the year. We're not getting that often anymore. I mean, gaming's kind of fallen off, and that's why my prediction is 2027 will be the collapse of the gaming industry. It'll be like when it was struggling before, because the consoles are not going to sell, because they're going to be over $1,000. They're going to have put in so much BS because they're so competitive with each other that you're going to lose so much to buy one. Because if you buy Xbox, you're getting screwed by Game Pass, and Sony's going to make sure you never play anything with them.
Now that is actually a good point when looking into the value of a console. If you are multiplayer, you are required for both Sony and Xbox to pay an additional $10 a month to be able to play with your friends. Where on PC, you do not have that additional cost, you know?
And that adds up. That adds up.
Yeah. Additionally,
exclusivity. Sony doesn't want to play with anybody else. Xbox is making bad calls, but they're going to be so expensive that people like me, because even I wouldn't now. No way would I be a multi-console owner, like to have an Xbox and a PlayStation at the current prices. But I'd rather put that, instead I took that money, put it together, put it with the money I had for my PC, and now I'm good. But if you buy an Xbox, you're screwed. You buy a PlayStation, you're screwed. You buy a Nintendo, you're not even going to get games. They're too busy suing everybody.
Yeah.
So, you're just sitting there hoping that they put a game out.
Well, like I said, I mean, also additionally, you have just sales, man. Sales are much more prevalent on PC versions of games than they are on console versions of games. I've seen massive sales on PC versus console.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a sale on a game and it's only been out a few weeks.
Additional benefit for PC is also modding, which can bring more value to games.
Hey, modders don't bring any value to games, according to Nintendo.
Oh, but
it would be amazing if Borderlands 4 went on sale, wouldn't
it? I mean, that'd be ridiculous. It just came out.
I know, right?
Randy said we got 5 years, man.
You're leading my tabs again. Hold on a second here. Borderlands.
You can't see your tabs, and if we could see them, we still wouldn't help.
I know. There we go. Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford said we'd have to wait at least 5 years to see Borderlands 4, maybe on console. Borderlands 4 get a major discount, but we've only had to wait 1 month for its first smaller discount. Already at 20% off on Steam. Yeah, that's PC.
They didn't even make it 5 weeks, let alone 5 years. And 20%, some people are trying to say that's small. And I'm like, no, 20%'s a good sale. 20%'s a really good sale. Well, anytime I see 20% off, it draws my attention. That's a decent sale.
So,
go ahead.
By the way, the sale is still going on. And
of course.
Here's Steam. So if you got the Super Deluxe Edition, which me and Q were dumb enough to do, you're saving almost $30 because it was $129.99 and you can get it for $103. So that's $25 that we wasted by buying it a month early.
We bet on Randy. Never bet on Randy.
Never bet on Randy. Yes. We need t-shirts for that. Never bet on Randy.
Yeah. That'll be a new message. Never bet on Randy.
Yeah.
Movies, games, it don't matter. Because, oh my God.
Magic tricks, going on.
God, that movie.
Yeah, we just have a never bet on Randy, and then just on the back, just have a ton of Randy quotes That didn't come true.
The movie's great. We got great casting.
Yeah.
It's going to be 5 years. Well, true fans will find a way. It's a premium game for premium players. And dude, how many of those are only a year old?
I know.
That even go back to there was this magic trick. That's why it was on the flash drive.
We need to get our merch store again and actually do something like that. I think that would be great.
Never bet on Randy. I like it. You bet on Randy. You never bet on Randy. You went full gearbox. You never go full gearbox. Yeah, this is an interesting discussion. I'm surprised. I know why he had it tabbed because he knows I want to. So I'll try not to go as into it. But I mean, guys, your opinions on the state of Gearbox as a whole, because we did something we don't do to extremes. We do a light a bit, but we did research, and Gearbox isn't putting out any games.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So,
and they have like 1,000 employees, so. That makes questionable. Also, I mean, we just got that, everybody who was waiting for that Thursday Nerf patch got a reprieve.
Balance patch.
Huh?
Supposed to be a balance patch.
Balance patch, yeah, balance, yeah. We know how these things work.
It probably was going to be nerfs, but I was hoping it was going to be fixes.
Yeah. But the Borderlands update
on Randy for some reason.
Yeah, the Borderlands update has been postponed to later this week now instead of last Thursday. So,
which is problematic because next Thursday is the big Halloween event.
Yeah.
So they need to get this patch out, but they're now down to, in the same week, you're going to put out probably your biggest patch that's going to change the most in the game, followed by your biggest patch that's going to change the most in the game. Well, biggest add-on. So that's what prompted us to go, is Gearbox okay? What happens if Borderlands 4 fail? Then we went looking and found out they don't even own a lot of franchises, but they're not putting out games. I think it's been more than a year or two since they put anything out, really. So they're bidding 2025. They're bidding all of 2025 on frigging Borderlands 4. Yet they're not acting like it.
Yeah, here's a list.
They're not acting like it from the way they're handling themselves. They're not acting like it.
Games developed by Gearbox. Last game was Risk Terrain 2. Not really familiar with that one. Then they had the new Tales from Borderlands and Tiny Tina's back in 2022. And then Borderlands 3 back in 2019. So between 2019 and 2025, 6-year period, they put out a half-baked Borderlands spinoff, half-baked
that was not well received.
Tales game for Borderlands, and then Risk of Rain, which I don't even know what it is.
I know one thing: it's 67% off on Steam.
It is a roguelite third-party shooter, so it's an indie style game basically,
and it's on big sale, 67% off. You can get it for $8.
Yeah, so that's what Gearbox has put out.
They won't be if they flub Borderlands 4, but I didn't know it was this bad. But as a joke, we were actually comparing it to a game we're going to talk about later. And I decided to go, and Gino said, well, compare its numbers to Borderlands 4's numbers playing. And I found out they have an 85% player drop-off. It's insane. Like, from their all-time high, and remember, it's only been out 4 weeks, to their current, like last 24 all-time high, 85% drop. They only have 14% of their player base left.
From a 304 peak to a 43 24-hour peak.
That is a devastating drop-off. It's... What did I do my math wrong? No, I mean,
it's a little more than a tenth, because 30,000 would be a tenth. So 43
so it's 15. Yeah, it's 15.
12, 13%.
13, 14%, yeah.
And that's devastating. That is devastating conceptually And it's the weekend, guys. I want to point that out. It's the weekend.
Yeah,
I know it's Sunday, but it's the
would be
weekend.
15%. So yeah, it's less than 15%.
And 24-hour peak was Saturday. So yeah, Saturday, their numbers were awful. It's 14.4. So that's a massive drop off because there's two reasons that this is bad. One, this is a multiplayer game. They don't have that kind of drop off. I've actually checked this many times. Multiplayer games have two, it's a live service, which means it's not supposed to have that drop off. This game has died faster than almost any game I've seen in a really long time. And Gearbox does not seem to care whatsoever. People are asking them, they're telling them, hey, can you fix this, you fix that? Later on, future update, later on, we'll get to it, whatever, we'll get to it. And I'm like, no, you won't. You won't have anybody. Because if they pull this off, it'll be the biggest comeback in history. I've never seen a game come back from an 85% player drop. That's such a huge player drop. I don't think they'll ever even get close to back up. Most they might be able to climb to is 20 or 30% at best. So it's dead. Now, it is Gearbox. I hear you. I see you, Bloodaxe. It is Gearbox. We know that they're all about the fast cash grab. They may not care. They may have been like, we sold the copies. We don't care if any of you play. They did it in Tiny Tina's. They abandoned the entire player base. It was a cash grab, and that's all it was. But I don't think they'll survive it if that's the case. I believe if they pull the dine and dash, the quick grab, run away with Borderlands 4, they'll never sell another game. Borderlands 5 won't even get advertised.
There is a game that we mentioned quite often that had a worse drop off than Borderlands 4.
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky drop off went from a release of 212 to within the first month dropping to under 10,000.
Yeah, but that's No Man's Sky. You think Gearbox can pull a No Man's Sky?
No. I mean, No Man's Sky's been working for almost a decade to pull out of that slot.
And do you know how much free stuff No Man's Sky put out?
Yes.
No Man's Sky had to been selling cocaine out the back door to fund this crap because they put out more free content because they also are the game that put out the most free content ever.
Still putting out
that
free
game
content.
grew so much, it's insane. Every time I see him and Jared talking about it, I'm stunned by the size and scope of what they've put into that game. This is Gearbox. Gearbox won't give you what you pay for, let alone for free. Gearbox don't want to give you what you gave good money for if you go by the game, the battle pass or whatever equivalent for Tiny Tina's. And honestly, here's what's bad. How Rush Saved Christmas, one of the big Christmas thing coming out, looks like utter garbage. It looks terrible. It looks half-assed. It looks like they're just doing the same zones, but they're going to throw a white snow film over it, and that's it. It does not look even slightly interesting. It looks bad.
So I got two things. One, I got a response to this, and then Michael's got a really good question that Chad will bring in a second. But Borderlands 3 did make a revival after 1 year because they had the Epic exclusive. And then they did kind of hit it up and start making good content, starting with the cartels and some of their DLC. They're not going to have that option this year because it's not exclusive just to one store. So the fact that when you had that big, massive boom on the consoles after 12 months, when we got it half off, so it did take 12 months for Borderlands 3 to go half off, but they're not going to be able to have that bump this time. So unless they have some really, really good content or they fix their post-game strategy, because right now I'm probably about throwing the towel and trying to get all the achievements in this game because it's too mind-numbingly horrible.
I play about 30 minutes before I start to just get completely bored out of my mind.
And so the fact that I have to get all 4 Vault Hunters to level 50 to get the last achievement, I'm like, you know what, screw this. So I may be done playing Borderlands for a while, and I'll switch over to the Beast, or at least farm Axel and Grounded 2 until the new content comes out. But Michael has a really, really good question, and I'd like to hear your responses. I know what my response is already, but he wanted to know what year, in our opinion, did the console start to decline and PC to begin to ascend?
When did Last of Us 2 come out?
2 years ago?
A little further back than that, probably, but that was one of the big, oh my god. I was like, Sony wasn't crap after that. It's been a while. I mean, to be honest, the last time I felt like I got my money's worth out of a console was a 360. It was not the current Xbox. As far as I'm concerned, that thing's never been worth the plastic it's made out of. I like Microsoft as a company, and I oppose Sony, but I don't feel like it was worth the hundreds of dollars I spent on it. No, it hasn't been. Because there's nothing that's been done on it that I couldn't have done better on PC. In fact, you've noticed that recently I've regretted many of my purchases on Xbox and wish I had bought them on PC. And that to me is a bad sign when you literally go, why did I buy Borderlands 4 on Xbox? You know, that was an awful idea. Why did I buy this game on it? And it's just been painful. At least the Game Pass, PC Game Pass, was holding its weight. But now with the price change, it's not worth it either. But I would say at least about 3 or 4 years ago, because ever since the last generation came out, or the current generation, I guess, consoles have not been worth what they've been costing. And the companies became incredibly hostile to their customer base. And with exclusivity, bad faith actions, Sony and Xbox were terrible. Weirdly enough, the only one I can say didn't mess up and really bad until recently was Nintendo. Nintendo only about a year. About a year, Nintendo became utter garbage. But the other consoles have been bad since this gen came out. That's my answer.
What about you, Zeno?
Okay, so I'm gonna share this little infograph here. But so PCs have been the tortoise when it comes to gaming. Like early on, they were the early start of gaming. Back in '85, you saw more PC gaming. Is what really when PC gaming started taking off. And then consoles came out. And when you say consoles, I mean they talk about everything from the Atari to the old Pong, But PC has never really seen a huge decline. It's seen not as fast a growth as the consoles. The consoles got a sudden growth, and as of right now, this infographic goes to 2022, in which you start seeing a decline in console. And this doesn't actually show the recent 35% growth on PC gaming that happened just this year. So already by 2022, PC had overtaken console with a $45 billion gaming community versus a $30 billion. Now, of course, mobile is probably pulling more from your console than anything else. Mobile didn't really pull from PC. PCs have always been more hardcore gamers. But yeah, I mean, at this point, PC has already overtaken the console. And console has already started to decline. That is why you're starting to see the console handhelds. They're going to the gimmicks. They're trying to get get their numbers back up through other options. And the handheld market is a niche market. It's not going to bring you out of this dip. It's so. Really? I mean, if you're asking when PC is going to take over, it's already, I think, a one. Yeah. But
and I think the honest answer is depends on who you ask. So you're always been a PC guy. Q's been, dabbling in all the different consoles and PC for a while. I was a PC guy until Xbox Live came out in 2001, 2000, whenever it was. And that made convenience of playing with other people significantly better than PC. And that's kind of when I switched from PC to console. But now that they're no longer making it convenient, they're making it more of a headache. The quality is dipping and the prices are increasing. I think PC is kind of like gold in any kind of economy, to where the safe place to put your cash is always going to be gold. Gold's never going to go down in price. Versus, different stocks and different options, they're going to be very fluid. And PC's kind of been the gold standard, and you'll see a lot more people like me that says, okay, it's no longer convenient for a console. The prices are getting to be equivalent of a PC, and I'm going to have more options on PC. Why not flip the switch and go over that way? And you're going to see a lot of people doing that nowadays. So for me, it's been over the past probably 2 or 3 years where I've even considered going PC. But this past 2 or 3 months, you can put a gravestone on my Xbox account at this point, because, like I said earlier in the show, 2027 is my timeline to get a gaming PC, because that's where the new consoles are coming out, which means the series are going to be obsolete. So I need to put a game plan so I can be prepared to be able to keep up with you guys and be able to play games, which I can't play the beast with you guys because screw me, I'm playing on console.
Well, and you did make a good point on the ease of use, and I think that's why, if you just on this chart alone, you see in 2005 where the Xbox release was at the peak of the console, pretty much. I mean, you have steady from there on, but that was probably at its best. But then you had Steam in 2003. Now, Steam 2003 wasn't much, but Steam, as it grew, made PC gaming easier. It did allow for that ease of use. Now, the hardware is still your difficulty entry point into PC, because that can be a little more difficult. It's pricey if you're buying a manufactured PC. You can cut some costs by building your own, but that's a high point of entry level. But now you're starting to get PCs that can play decent gaming at the $1,000 point. Because there hasn't been a huge advance in technology and processing over the last few years. Now, me as a PC gamer would go, you want to push your price point up to $2,000, but there's a lot of PC gamers on that $1,000 mark.
Also, Xeno is a bit of he's a techie snob, so the 2000 is not mandatory.
But yeah. And for me personally, I'm at the $3,000 to $4,000 mark. I'm willing to pay pretty much whatever to have my PC. But
you pushed me up. You got me up over $3,000. You do know how to entice.
But yeah, the price point of PCs. But yes, now that you're seeing sort of a bit of a stagnant point in our advancing in graphics capabilities and processing speeds and stuff like that, the entry-level PC for gaming has dropped in its price point.
And that's why I just wanted to end on 2 points. One, I want to say, because I grew up with it. Okay, one moment, y'all guys. R.I.P. Arcade. R.I.P. Arcade, man. I grew up in arcades. But 2, 2027. You heard Bloodaxe, man. I'm telling you. 2027, that graph that's starting to dip, it's going to spike. I believe the major console drop will be 2027 when they come out and Sony goes, the new PS6 is $1,200 and you don't get a controller. The controller's $150. The power cord's $50. It's going to be insanely pricey. You got to realize times are getting harder. People have less money. And the entertainment, it's spiking. Like, the consoles are getting ridiculously expensive. And Xbox is going to come out, and they're going to say, ours is $1,250 for about a month. Then it'll be $1,300. Then it'll be They're just gonna keep raising the price on the console.
The only thing that can really affect, I think, my prediction on PC gaming is the gaming market itself. If we continue to fail at gaming, Gearbox, Ubisoft, are these big major conglomerates, if they continue to fail in gaming, we may see a drop in gaming just because of the gaming as a whole versus where you're playing the game.
Well, that's another thing, though. A lot of these overseas companies, I've noticed a trend. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look at the companies that make like Stalker 2, I look at other games, I've also noticed that a lot of overseas non-Western gaming companies, they're not console exclusive. They make games for PC.
Well, yeah.
Like, the console exclusive companies are usually Western or Eastern gaming very specifically, but a lot of those in the middle companies, their games come out on PC. That's the base platform they make the game for. And that could also lead to the rise of PC because as these games companies continue to make stupid decisions and die off, and new companies rise, those new companies are making PC games.
Yeah. Now, we may see faster faster game development and lower cost as more and more developers in the game industry are talking about utilizing AI, not for the creative route, but just for making it easier at the beginnings, and the simple code, the repetition. Most of them are still advocates of the creative aspect still being ran by people, but AI can help in cost reduction and speed.
Can we make some AI play testers? Because whoever the heck Gearbox hired. Well, what? You know what AIs can do? They can do math.
That's true.
Some of our beef with some of this play testing is that the numbers don't add up. And you know what AI would do? It would go, that's not 41%. That is not correct. All I'm saying, somebody needs to, because somebody is not doing math.
I mean, we do already have AI playing video games. So it's not a far-fetched to go AI could take some of the QA load. I mean, dude, I work in the QA industry, not in video games, but we are utilizing AI to help testing. It is a thing that is very beneficial, can help out with those, especially the crunchy things. AI is really good at the crunchy.
I mean, here's my thing. I know AI is a bad word, but for different reasons. I'm still worried about Skynet. Other than that, I believe that some AIs we're making we don't need to be making. Ones to test video games and speed up some processes, not a problem. Should they be doing our voice acting? No. Should they be doing our writing? No. But
I'm not 100% against it doing our voice acting, man. Honestly, I mean, if you're an indie company, that may be a good route for you. I'm sorry. I know it sucks for voice actors, but at the same time, man, I've seen some really bad voice acting that AI would have been better at.
Okay. But I'm going to stand my ground on that one. But that's just because I'm also on the flip side. There are some, if you go back and you mute some of the stuff we watched that we thought were amazing, you start to realize it really stood on the acting. It really wasn't the best animated or the best show, but they just brought it home with the voice acting and emoting and putting a lot of more emphasis and bringing to life characters. So I'm going to say I don't think that's something that can be replaced.
Use AI to replace your main characters or your cast. But think about when you're in a city and there's people walking by you. Now, you can't make 100 different conversations going on, and just random
I
shit
get it.
chat.
And side quest givers don't need it either. Not every side. The farmer could be probably AI
Think if
voice.
you're able to
just
walk
go
walk down a crowded city street, and you're just hearing these clips and random side conversations going on that don't make any sense because they wouldn't if you were walking through the city, because they're just people having everyday conversations. Think if you could get AI to fill some of that in and make that a little more lively, because you can't afford to have a voice actor do, as much random voice acting as you could get AI to do.
I know the word you're looking for is reactive. True. You can have also reactive dialogue, like, hey, they added a new character to the game that's a 10-foot tall Grim Reaper. People should probably react to that when you walk down the street with that guy. It should be, what the is that? That's an appropriate reaction. Because I've noticed that one of the things that'll happen is sometimes the game adds stuff to it, and now dialogue doesn't really work out. You know what I'm saying? You're standing there and they're talking about, we need to do something about these undead, and you're playing a lich because they added a lich to it, and you're just like, yeah, I guess we do. Having a reactive side that somebody doesn't have to call up a voice actor, they could just we go in, we tell the AI, alter the dialogue because now there's a new guy walking around. Because I'm wondering what that means for the story. Like, are they going to have lines for Cash when he comes out of Borderlands 4? Because every character gets their own auger name, remember?
Yeah.
If you're playing Cash, will he get his own auger name? Will some of the dialogue vary? Also, pretty sure Cash is going to be literally a robot. So, there should be some dialogue that alters. Hell, I don't know if you can even bolt a robot. I might play from the beginning of the game just to see if they do the bolting scene with them. Because how the heck does that work? You ain't got a brain stem. And then when they say, why don't I just rip it out? Oh, that'll rip out a part of your brain. You're a robot. No, it won't. You just unscrew it. There we go. Bolt. It's off. I'm good.
Well,
my whole head comes off. Whole head comes off. I'm fine.
There's some probably biological element in Cash. He's probably not like 100% robot.
That ain't what that better not. I don't want no skin in the game. I want robot. I want metal from the nuts to the bolts.
He probably has
metal.
A brain stem and a brain.
That's a stupid design flaw. But that's what I'm saying, though, is that's the kind of thing that AI would be way easier than calling a voice actor back in to voice a line. Instead, you could just go.
No, that I don't agree with.
No,
you want to keep if you started off with a voice actor, you end with the voice actor. I don't want you stealing somebody's voice.
Pick a lane. Pick a lane, so we in or out on AI.
I'm in on AI. I'm in for non-creative background uses. Like I said, I think to control a full city of people, let's do AI. Not have like in Skyrim where one guy does like all the villagers' little one-liners, and you just hear them
so bad when I noticed
over and over again.
The worst mistake you can make in Skyrim is to start paying attention to the voices. And you know what's weird? It was years later it happened to me, but it ruined the game. I was like, oh my God, there's 4 voices. Oh my God, everybody is the same guy. It was bad when I was just like, whoa, there are not as many voices as I thought in this game. And it kind of really starts to mess with your head because you're just like, wait, is that Bell? No, that's not Bell. Who am I talking to? So don't do that. Do not lock in on the voices in Skyrim. You will mess up your experience, man. Like, I hate we brought it up because I think we just ruined that game for somebody who's playing it. They're going to be like, oh my God, how many times did they use this one dude? Sometimes you can turn around. You can talk to this guy and then turn around and talk to that guy. And you're like, they didn't even get actual distance. Can we get some,
Yeah. Oh, no, I get you, man. Same thing. I mean, Cyberpunk, think if the city, all those people in the city had individual like conversations and lines going on and
reacted like, reacted.
Yeah.
They did better. They improved it, but it was bad at first. It was just, woo.
So anyway, And that's my thing on AI where I think it can help. So
Just don't give them the missile codes, people. Just come on. There's certain places we don't need AI. When they start talking to each other, we need to be a little more concerned.
But
That's
I
all
think
I'm
I
saying.
derailed us because we were leading towards another topic, and then we derailed to AI. So I'm just going to do a nice jagged jump over to the head of Assassin's
Did you
Creed
hit
says
A?
he was pushed out by Ubisoft.
Oh, I was going to say, did you hit A to jump or RB? Oh, wait, you're on PC, you loser.
Yeah, yeah.
Use a controller like the rest of us.
No.
That's why you can't keep up with me in Dying Light, mister. I'm trying to WASD behind, and I'm like, I'm off the wall, man, and he's just
No,
trying
the
to
reason I
keep
can't
up.
keep up with you is because we'll go and kill a bunch of people. Oh, now you got me over to Dying Light. Hold on a second. Let me change this infogram I got up here. Techland. Here we go. Because we'll be playing Dying Light, and this mofo here will kill a bunch of people. And I'm like inventory control. So, like, I pick up all these crap weapons, and I'm going through, and I'm dismantling them, checking to see how I am on my scraps and stuff. And we're in voice chat together. And he'll just be talking like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, so what are we going to do next? And I exit out of my menu, and he's like way over here. And I'm just like.
And I'm saying, hey, man, we should probably go do this mission. And then I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then I turn around, and now I'll do what I like to do is I'll stop, and I'll turn around and wait on him. I'll just watch him. And in my mind, I'm hearing like the Mr. Bean themes, do, 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 you know, like, and he's coming, and he jumps, he misses the jump, and he didn't make that wall, and I'm just like, he'll get here, my boy will get here.
Yeah.
Then he gets there, then I'll let him get ahead of me, and I'll just be like, all right, yeah, you lead the way. Then I start running, and then it's like it's like a dog with a squirrel. He's like, ooh, a zombie. And I'm just zoom.
That's my other thing. I fight. I fight a lot more, and that's the other reason he leaves me behind is because I'm like, oh, I can chop that dude's head
Random
off.
zombie.
You will
I
never
see him
kill all the
start
zombies.
swinging on a zombie, and I've flown by.
Well, I mean, you played the 2 previous Dying Lights. I did not, so.
Oh, I know one time you're behind me, you had to be like, what the heck? Because I was in windows and out. I mean, I was doing because we did parkour challenges. Me and Bloodaxe, we did parkour challenges. So I'm like, and I'm gone, and he's just like, what the? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's instinct after hours. I'm just so glad that Crane doesn't get punched in the face every time he walks in the room.
Fine.
Like, that's just so much better.
At least I do end up beating him whenever you have to go upward because Q does not know how to look up. So
I do not look for vents, so I have to stop and go, what would Zeno do? Then I look up and there's a vent. I'm like, oh, they really want you crawling through vents all the dang time. This ain't Alien Isolation. God dang it.
But we haven't beat
Mike.
the game, so it doesn't hurt that we don't have New Game Plus yet. But I'm glad to see that's coming and that it's free, and they're not trying to charge me for New Game Plus because I would be throwing a fit if they did.
Unless they raise the level, we don't really have a reason to play on New Game Plus yet.
Difficulty.
Dude, we're playing on normal. There's 2 more difficult. There's another difficult coming out. We gotta get the hard.
Oh,
then we gotta get
they
the
also
brutal.
are adding Nightmare difficulty. They
Yeah,
said,
you talking way too much trash.
But legend levels is probably going to be like after.
Yeah, then I got you. Cause I'm not I don't know. Hard seems like it's gonna be something because you lose even more XP when you die in hard, and you quit on me after your last death. I'm afraid you really gonna be pissed you die in the higher difficulty and lose like 3,000 XP. But you know what? If we've maxed our level, we don't care. Yeah, actually, you know what? We're gonna take the coward's way out. Let's max our level, then we can turn up the difficulty because you can't that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? And who cares?
All right, back
I
to
hate losing XP.
back to Assassin's Creed though.
Nobody's going back to Assassin's. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I know one person who's not going back to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so head of Assassin's Creed says he was pushed out by Ubisoft. Basically, this came after his high defense of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which they're still claiming did well, but every time we look at the numbers, it does not look like they did well. And this also comes after the Ubisoft launches its new subsidiary, Vantage Studios, which has Assassin's Creed, which is more than likely the reason why he was pushed out. Let's just be honest. If you're starting a new venture, you get rid of the old.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, Vantage Studios fired him. I mean, if it did do well, it didn't do well enough. And my simple reason is that they sold a big chunk of Ubisoft. In that Ubisoft sale, they got Assassin's Creed. They got the license to Assassin's Creed, the other owners. They didn't even buy the whole company, and they got Assassin's Creed. That tells you how much Assassin's Creed wasn't working out for Ubisoft. Normally, when you buy into a company, unless you buy like 50% or plus, you don't get to actually claim certain licenses. Then on top of that, Vantage Studios immediately fired the head of the Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed Shadows couldn't have been. Oh, and they canceled the Assassin's Creed Civil War game. All the signs say that this dude needed to be fired because he buried Ubisoft. He triggered a lot of stuff happened after his last game. All of it bad for Ubisoft. I'm just doing the logic of going, all the signs say he effed up real big, screwed the company over. Now they're chopped up, and he's out the door.
Well,
speaking of
things that probably should get fired or go, is if you're thinking about buying Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 that is coming out Tuesday, the reviews have already started coming out, and they are not pretty. TRG Gaming says Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is a coddled together mess, but its biggest crime is being really, really boring. Its rating for this is "This sucks." Along with them, you can see a list of reviews on the game, and out of the over 10 reviews, only like 2 of them were even remotely positive.
I've been making faces for a while. I'm over here like, I got in so much trouble for criticizing this game that it didn't look good. And I don't know if this is an I told you so or I'm so sorry moment. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel.
Yeah. I mean, the gamer calls it dead on the inside. WCCF Tech calls it greatly uneven, but still worth a look. PC Games calls it weary is this wanderer. You got lukewarm blooded, a reimage that hasn't really worked. The longest title for an article, my dream vampire RPG has been staked. This blunt tooth sequel is just a boring linear action brawler instead.
No, I said it. I said it looked like a beat 'em up. No, did I not? Did I not on this show say that everything I saw made it look like it was just a beat 'em up game? I know what? I told you so. Because I even said it. I said, this doesn't look like the RPG we had before. It looks like just a run around and beat, And I've actually watched it in depth before you buy, and one of the complaints is that the side missions are super repetitive. There's only 3 types of mission. You do these 3 same missions every time you get to a new chapter. The powers are not very diverse. It's a beat 'em up, dude. It's a beat 'em up.
I like the pros for this one. Clans not locked behind DLC after all. So the one pro is the one thing that we've then occasionally nice to look at.
I wanted the keyword occasionally.
Yeah. Cons, Target Camp Nor vibes, lands on cringe, simplistic level design and combat, and then poor PC performance. Once again, poor PC performance, man. This lack of optimization is killing games, man.
It's a brawler, dude. It's a cheap beat 'em up. vampire beat 'em up. I knew that's what it was going to end up being. And because I saw it, I did not see any signs of the in-depth gameplay I was hoping for. And from what I understand, it's literally like, what's the missions? Go kill this guy, go steal this. It's very basic. It's the same three every time. It's a beat 'em up, low tier, low effort. Now, do I care? No, because you know what I'll give them? They didn't hide it. I mean, I saw it. I watched it and I said, this is not it. And at least
I mean, I care because of fond memories of Vampire the Masquerade. That's why I care, is because they're taking something that I had fond memories of and they made a crap job of it.
That don't make me reminisce, because now I'm going like, that was a fun game, man. Way different. I loved, man. I ran Bruja. I got old boy. I was down with old boy. Like, hey, man, let me teach you a couple moves, fellow Bruja. Yeah, bro.
Well, dude,
that is like Tremere,
even not Tremere. Just the PC game, but just back in the day, man, with tabletop in the early 2000s, playing Vampire the Masquerade used to be one of the main ones in our gaming rotation back in the day. So
yeah, it'll get picked up one day by somebody that has the effort. Sadly, you know what? It'll probably have to be a fan game sequel. It ain't gonna get done right by a company. It ain't never gonna get done right by a company, because you know why? Unless it gets picked up by a non-Western game company. I don't know if that's who made it, but I'm just saying I have no faith in our Western gaming companies anymore. They can't even do the most basic thing correct.
Flynn in the chat room says, does anybody know how to make a game anymore? And our Blood says, Claire Osborne. Any more comments you got, Blood?
Claire
I know we sort of left you out of the voice chat.
Claire Obscure, not Claire Osborne.
Yeah, Obscure, sorry.
I mean, I don't know. She may also know how to make games, but Claire Obscure is what we're talking.
Yeah, Expedition 33. Gotcha.
But no, dude, like...
I mean, it goes. I think the indie studios is probably going to be the future of gaming until the AAA studios decide to get off their hands and quit virtual signaling and actually make games that we want to play.
Like, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think of like a time I haven't been disappointed by a Western gaming studio, and I'm not coming up with anything. It's
been a while.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
Yeah,
and if it's a series, they're burying it. Name a sequel that's been worth a dang. And it's not hard. Sometimes you could just give us more of the same and we'd have been okay with it.
Yeah.
But they can't even do that right. They'll go, hey, everything we did right in the previous game, F that. Because yes, I'm back on Borderlands. Like everything hey man, by the end of the cycle, we have Borderlands 3 down pat. Yep. Screw all that.
Well, I mean, dude. Like you said, but we have had some people do the more of the same, and it's actually worked very well. I mean, you remember Baldur's Gate 1 and 2? They were basically the same game. We enjoyed them both. Decades later, they come out with Baldur's Gate 3, and what did? They tried to do pretty much more of the same. I mean, they took the same aspect of gaming, same style, and just did it bigger. And people loved it. I mean, anytime we've seen a sequel do that, it does seem to work. And I mean, and like I said, there has been some. I mean, dude, Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3. Most people liked 1 and 2 the most out of the 3 because 3 changed a lot. 2 changed some from 1. But the big changes came from 2 to 3.
I mean, you're right, and that's really the whole. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No. I mean, yeah, no, and that's just my examples. I'm sure I could think of some more, but yeah, when you stick with what worked, it usually continues to work. How many versions of Mega Man did we play that were basically the same, just with different bosses?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun. Oh, yeah. You're right. I mean, I'm not telling people to be lazy. I'm just saying, don't screw up what you've already got down, though. I really am tired of this reinvent the wheel, but you know what? It's not new. Hollywood's notorious for it. Hey man, we're gonna make a movie based on this book. Okay. Yeah, but clearly the author is an idiot, so we gotta fix it. And then they screw it all up. Let's make a movie based on this video game. Oh, cool. We're not bringing any elements of the game over whatsoever. This is not even going to reference the game beyond. We're going to name a couple of people after the game and we're done. It's ego, I guess. I think Western studios across the board, whether gaming or movie, are so egotistical they think they can do better.
I mean, dude.
So they always reinvent the wheel because they think they know better.
Even a more recent example, we've been talking about it all day. Borderlands 4. Borderlands 1 through 3 had a formula. They deviated from the formula for Borderlands 4.
What made Borderlands 4 unique? One of the things, other than the crazy guns, was the quirky humor.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy comes along that's directed it and goes, oh no, I hate the humor. I would have fired him on the spot. See, you guys better hope I never end up being some of these people's boss. Because I would just go, so tell me what you think about the game franchise. I think it's silly. Okay? And I mean, in a good way. Oh no, I hate that. Oh, okay. You have a nice day. Bring in the next one. Why? Well, you're not even going to hear me out? No, you don't like the game. I'd be some kind of idiot if I let you work on this and you don't like it. What kind of raging, stupid fool would let you make Dragon Age Vanguard? Because it ain't just Borderlands. Who let you make Gears 5 and 4? You know what the problem with Gears was? Too much macho masculine energy. We need a female protagonist who don't take no guff off of nobody.
And then he went and made Diablo 4.
Huh?
And then he went and made Diablo 4.
Yeah, you know what? We really got this end game down in Diablo 3. It's pretty good. I know. Okay, let's set this on fire. All right, guys. Snowball some ideas. I mean, am I crazy? Am I crazy that I'm like, the wheel should, if you're going to start with your wheel, at least start with it being round. These suckers walking up with triangles and squares and octagons and going like, I don't know why it's not a smooth ride. And it's like, just because you're not even willing to start on the base foundations of what you know and then improve. Is what I always say. Our last game made 10 steps forward. Our next game should start at step 10 and continue to go forward. These idiots go, our last game made 10 steps forward. Let's start at 0 again. It's going to be a lot harder to get to 20 if you keep starting back over, idiots. Add on. You'll get to 20 a lot quicker. Then you can aim for 30. It's a really basic concept. Stop backtracking. Stop taking 5 steps forward and then taking 3 steps back when you make the next game. Start at where you were and improve. Xeno said it. He said that there's things he likes about Borderlands 4. He'd rather they were in Borderlands 3. Like, take the good stuff and put it in Borderlands 3. You'd have had a perfect game. He's 100% right. You know, the mobility, I like it. I like the glider. I'm out. That's all I have from Borderlands 4, really. That's superior. Yeah, sadly, that's it. But conceptually, okay, dude, really, this game needs a lot of work. I don't know. I got nothing, man. The game's disappointing me more and more the more I play it. I was enjoying it at first because it reminded me of Borderlands 3, but then I realized that every part of Borderlands 4 that I did enjoy was what was at least somewhat similar to Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
But never better. Vault Hunter mode is massively inferior to Mayhem mode.
Yeah.
It just is. It's massively inferior. None of the Vault Hunters really pop for me in any way that stands out. They're okay-ish at best. Their abilities are okay. They're not really as groundbreaking as I thought they were going to be. I mean, heck, their best abilities are the simplest. What's the best hollow ability? Bloodaxe, you fire an orb at somebody. What's the best Rafa ability? You gun shoot off your shoulder. What's the best aim-on ability? None of them. They all are terrible. All his action skills are god-awful. The shield's the closest to okay, because it kind of blocks damage for a little while. Then that's it. I miss Flag. I miss Mose. I miss Zane. I almost miss Amara.
The one thing that I do like about Borderlands 4 is the fact you can farm bosses without having to quit and reload. That is a good quality of life improvement.
Well, yeah, no, and like I said, there are a couple out there that are fun. Yeah, the Moe's network is nice. You know, being able to do the boss, the grappling. Yeah. You know, having a little more. Yeah, Moxie. Having a little more verticality. That's sort of nice. I enjoy that.
I agree.
The revamp of the vehicles, stupid.
The vehicles are not as interesting as the prior vehicles on any level. I miss my wheel. I love that wheel or the hover truck. This is all much lamer. And what's sad, it's just a vehicle from Dead Money or Blood Money is just a vehicle from the Western DLC. It's the hover bike. Yet somehow less interesting than a hover bike from the Western DLC. You remember the Blood Money one? You had the bikes, which by the way handled better and drove better than these.
Yeah, the world design I actually like better in 4, but it's mostly just going back to Borderlands 1's world design more so than it is something new. It's large, it's open, the creatures are already there. You know, you're not. You know, the biggest problem I had with Borderlands 3 was because I like to snipe and get some distance kills in, and they having their fights not start until you enter the area annoyed the crap out of me. I'm glad they got rid of that.
That's good. But what about creatures, though, dude? None of these creatures are as interesting. Why do you have all the creatures? I miss my skags. I miss my spider ants. I miss my critters. Dude, I don't like any of these new critters. None of them are interesting to me. Yeah. They didn't stand out at all. They're boring.
Because they took out a lot of the humor, some of the cool names for the badasses and the psychos. You'd see occasional random names that popped up that was just funny. Now you don't even have the midgets or the tinks anymore. You just have psychos. Everyone's psycho. Just a psycho. Just a psycho. Nothing special. Just a psycho.
You got the breakdancing breaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
The breakdancing breaker is somewhat new, but that's it. Like as a new enemy, like he said. And I mean, there used to be psychos run at you and they were on fire. You know,
I smell delicious.
Oh no, that was different. That was those weird mutants that were all wrapped up. Yeah, the cannibals. Like the game has no personality, and that made sense. They were trying to take it out of it because they thought it was too silly and funny. Well, you succeeded. It's definitely not silly and it's not funny. It's also less interesting. The Order enemies are so boring. I would much rather the Hyperion loaders at least were crack lines. Remember they had dialogue. There was different the death orbs. Because we played Borderlands 3 not too long ago before the new game came out, which is probably a bad idea because it really shows even more how less interesting. They didn't pop yet. Now, will it pop later? I don't know. But I'm also tired of buying a game and literally having to put it away to wait for something interesting to happen.
It's like a wine. You got to wait for it to age some.
Well, Monster Hunter, we're both waiting on WoW to do something that's worth our time to come back to.
All right.
Like have something to do that actually makes a qualitative difference to the character I'm playing. You know, add something to my build, something. Can I get a new piece of equipment that isn't crap? Wilds. I'm waiting on Wilds. Now we're waiting on Borderlands 4. And you know what? Where the Winds Meet's probably just going to be the game to play until these people decide that they want to make money and have us come back to their game. Well, yeah, I know you're not on PC. It's got multiplayer. Where the Winds Meet does Bloodaxe, man. If you get yourself going. All right, yeah.
Anyway,
they got a big weapon. They got the heavy pole arm. You know, I know you like big pole arm.
Let's see, Where the Winds Meet console.
He doesn't do martial arts games. That's why he's doing that. He's like, no. I'm like, dude.
No, because remember, we covered the Beast was supposed to be cross-platform. We distinctly talked about it on the show, and they secretly snuck in a big middle finger on the cross. So until it comes out and we know for sure, I'm not getting excited about anything right now.
Yeah, Where the Winds Meet.
I want to know when they decided to do that.
It is coming to PlayStation, but not Xbox.
Of course, everyone hates Xbox. Why did these idiots raise their price? No one wants to put their games on your shitbox. And yet you raised your price? The insanity of people don't even want to put their stuff on your console. And you go, we need to raise the price of the console. And the Game Pass. And I'm like, you're going to not have anything left, buddy. You're going the way of Sega. You're going to be out and just making games.
All right, guys. Last note before we end the show. We have Dead or Alive creator, Team Ninja founder, and Ninja Gaiden director. And I'm going to massacre this name.
You can do it. You can do it, man.
Tomonobu Itakagi has passed away at 58.
That was pretty decent. You put a good effort in there. That was not as bad as I thought.
It's on the screen. So.
I know you did pretty good. I'm not actually been messing with you on that one. But no, and this is disappointing to us and Jarek, especially because we're big DOA players. And when they already kind of put it on a hiatus, we were worried. Now we're really worried because the creator has passed, and I don't know who's going to handle that now, or if it's even going to be handled. Because that's another thing about a lot of these gaming.
He only directed the first 4. So
those were the good ones.
Yeah, the good ones. 5 and 6 were a bit rough. 5 was not bad.
5 was still pretty good. 6 was not great. Well, yeah, but I still worry. I mean, maybe it won't impact the probability, but nobody's even talking about another DOA.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, good games just ain't happening. And DOA 6 wasn't moving the wrong direction. So, will they course correct? Well, they're going to have to do it without the founder. That's the problem. They're going to have to do it with the creator of the game. And do we have talented people?
Dead or Alive was a weird game in the aspect of it. It focused a lot on its models. But it actually was a very intriguing fighting system. It was fun. It wasn't too overly complex, but it had a good... it was easy to play, hard to master type thing. I mean... It was a fun game. I do hate to see,
I found the problem.
That the developer died so young. I mean, our creator died so young at 58. 58's not that old. I mean,
that's our age.
Yeah,
my age anyway.
Okay, from what I can see, DOA 5 had 3 directors: Yohei Shimbori, Yutaka Saito, and Ryuzi Kitara. Or Kitara. It's a little harder to say that one. The problem is, Dead or Alive 6 only had Yohei Shimboro as the director. Yutaka Saito did do some writing, but our boy Ryuzi Kitara was completely gone. So it looks like that case of like with The Last of Us, where it's like, you can't let some people run the whole show or run wild. Yohei Shimboro didn't land it on 6. He needed those other 2 people. Or just the fact that when you have 3 people, there's somebody to say no to you. Sometimes you really need more heads to go, all right, what's that idea?
I mean,
no, I'm not sure about that.
The problem with 6, though, wasn't even that they went in that much of a different direction. They just gave us less, man.
Well, no, dude, he even was the producer. There was a different producer on 5. They let him run the whole show. That's not a good sign. He was apparently calling all the shots. They demoted Saito to a writer and an artist, so...
Well, and honestly, that explains why it felt like less.
Yeah, they didn't have the staff and the people working on it and the multiple people involved. And then they just decided, we looked it up, and they were like, well, we're not saying DOA 6 is never get another game. And that was all they said.
Yeah.
We're not saying it'll never happen.
But we are saying we aren't working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOA 7 is but a dream.
But, all right, guys. I guess we're going to wrap it up there. Any last comments before we shut down the show? No, good.
Blood's demoralized from just thinking about the future of games available to play. Or
you're not wrong.
I mean, I think we all are a little bit at this point.
Yeah, it's really depressing. And the fact that I've finished Borderlands 4 except for leveling the last 3 characters, oh my god, I don't want to do all that. So,
you don't have to get every achievement, Bloodaxe. You can say no.
And if I put it on a shelf, I probably won't play again until something comes out, which means I'll probably skip the event next week.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Before you go, I'm trying to look for upcoming multiplayer games. It looks really bad. This is.
I may build a new Mega Palace in Grounded 2 or something. I don't know.
Well, the biggest problem is crossplay too, because even if we get a multiplayer, the magic question then becomes. Is it crossplay? Will we be able to play as a team? And
the answer is most likely no. Let's just be honest. Crossplay.
Where the Winds Meet is popped up as it, and Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where we find links there where we're online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Wait. I believe Moonlighter 2 is going to be multiplayer. Is that true?
Wait,
or
what?
Or not just upcoming PC games? It may just be an upcoming PC game. Dang it, if Moonlighter 2 was multiplayer, we will run the heck out that shop, man. We will start our merchant empire.
And with that, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button on our YouTube channel. And as every week,